One thing I'm really curious about is your entire story is absolutely crazy. It's nearly unbelievable. There was something that I heard that you didn't have a bed all the way until 19 years old.
Yeah, that is correct.
When was the first time you slept on a bed?
I mean, first time sleeping in a bed, traveling probably when I was doing the scootering stuff was 17. And then, yeah, about 19 and a half is when I got my first actual bed when I moved out of my dad's house.
Wait, so what were you sleeping on?
The floor.
Why?
My dad had no money. He didn't have much money. And when I would ask for a bed, this is like obviously years later on.
Yeah.
Like when it first started off as a kid, it wasn't that bad because you're just a kid and like you could sleep anywhere. But as time went on, I was like 16 or 17 asking for a bed. He was like, I mean, you've slept on the floor this long. So
wait, so what was the sleeping arrangement then? Was it just like blankets with a pillow, or like what was that like?
I used to have this sleeping bag and then a pillow. That was it. And that was during summer, winter. And it's like the way that the flooring is set up, it's just like carpet, but it's like 30-year-old carpet. So it's like there's nothing there. So
it's compressed.
Super compressed.
Yeah.
Like the padding is compressed. So I used to sleep in like this Blues Clues sleeping bag that I had since I was like 7 years old, all the way up till legitimately 19 years old.
And when did you realize that wasn't normal?
Oh God. I feel like I was pretty self-aware when I was young.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it was because I mean, all my friends had beds. So I knew it was abnormal when I was a kid, like 10 years old, sleeping on the floor.
I'm just curious, what stopped you from just, because I feel like I see mattresses occasionally just like thrown around.
They give them away on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace. Like you could just pick up a free one on Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace didn't exist back then. I mean, the space that I slept in, it didn't really have much. I mean, it had enough room for a mattress, but it would take up a majority of the room. And there was just like so much stuff in that house because my dad was like a hoarder. So we had like just a bunch of random stuff in there, old computers, VHS tapes, and like you wouldn't have believed the amount of VHS tapes this guy had. I promise you, it was the craziest thing ever. I came home one day and he bought like, I'm not even exaggerating, maybe 5,000 or 6,000 VHS tapes.
And so he would do that, but no bed.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. As I grew older, it got to the point where like, oh, like this guy's like actually a scumbag. He's just a scum, you know? He's not like, a lot of people are like, oh, your dad would be very proud of you and everything. And I'm just like, when they say that, I'm just like, I literally couldn't care less about what do you think?
Well, I'm very glad now knowing that. I mean, you walk in here, you pull up in an Audi R8, and you're like, I was telling you I have a Mazda Miata beater car, and you're like, well, I was looking at a super clean one, looked really nice, silver, hardtop, everything, but like I have enough cars, I don't need another one. And I'm like, really, you have enough cars? You're like, yeah, I actually bought another one today. Actually, I'm like, dude, like you're just spending money, like.
But you know what? Like your dad bought VHSs, you're buying cars.
Yeah. It's a crazy, like, it's so crazy. Like, I wake up every day and, like, I'll say something, and it's just like, God, like, if I just look back 3 years ago, like, me saying this would just be just out of this world. I would have never expected to say something like
that. How did you get here? Because what was it like going to school?
I did elementary school. I went to this place called C.H. Decker, which was maybe, like, half mile to a mile from my house. And I did that up until about end of fourth grade. Maybe a month before I was supposed to graduate, and out of nowhere, randomly, my dad comes to the school. We get called up to the office, and my dad just tells us to grab our stuff, and we walk out of the school, and he's like, you're never going to this school ever again. And I was like, okay, I have no idea what's going on. And then he brings us home, and you got to imagine, he does this without telling us anything. We don't know what's going on. He brings us home, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to homeschool you guys. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that's actually sick. Like, I hated school. Like, I would rather do it at home. And then we started doing the homeschooling stuff. That lasted about a month and a half. And then I just never did school ever since then.
And so what did it look like every day you would wake up?
Pretty much, I would wake up at like 6 a.m., 6 to 7 a.m., and then I would ride my scooter from my house like 2 miles up to Desert Breeze Skate Park. And I would spend 12 to 15 hours there a day.
Wow.
Yeah. Just practicing scootering.
Yeah, just riding. I wasn't even practicing. I was just riding, just having fun. Because I couldn't meet anyone. I didn't go to school. So like the social life is gone. So it's like, this is like my new life, this is my new home, basically.
Is that legal to just like take your kid out of school, and now they're just like, how does anyone ever track these things, like who's showing up to school and who's not?
I don't know the answer to that, but I know there's no way that it is legal to do that, for sure.
My parents always told me if I missed enough school, they would throw me in jail. And I think I was young enough to think, oh man, like I gotta go to school.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a thing where like you can do the homeschool and like I think you're supposed to keep track of it and submit it to like the county. But obviously there's no shot he did that.
No.
Yeah, not at all.
And
so we never had anyone show up, so I don't know.
And this is fascinating because you just apparently got extremely good at scootering to the point where you went pro at scootering then. I'm curious, how did that shift your finances?
Not much. I mean, it was good for me as a teenager because I went pro when I was 16. And like I would survive at the skate park like with no money. Didn't have money to take the bus. I didn't have money to get food. So I'd like, I don't know, people would buy me a sandwich at McDonald's. I probably consumed more McDonald's than anyone on this planet. But like when I hit 16 and I turned professional, I started getting a paycheck, which is really crazy at 16, unless you're working like a part-time job or whatever. I was making $750. But like, you got to think like someone that comes from literally nothing to $750 as a 16-year-old, it's like, you like almost feel like you're on top of the world.
That's per month?
Per month, yeah. And then, your travel's paid for, competition entry fees are paid for, your scooters are free. So it was like financially, I guess it was like a huge change. I was able to like buy clothes and, make sure I was able to eat and drink when I'm at the skate park all day long. And, I could take the bus to the skate park and, I'm making $750 a month. I start looking at cars. I'm 16 years old. Like, you can't afford a thing.
I used to do the same thing as like, if I took all the money that I have and everything that I make, what could I afford?
Yeah. I was looking at like, so stupid. I'm looking like Audi A4s and like $4,000. And I'm like, oh, I could get this in like 8 months. And I'm just like, you're never going to get that car. You can't even afford the insurance.
The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and right now, every single goal changes everything. Which is exactly why our sponsor FanDuel made things even more interesting with Every Goal Pays. And here's how it works. You bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. So the more goals in the game, the more bonus bets. All you have to do is turn on your token. For example, the USA beat Paraguay 4-1. That's 5 total goals in one game, and every single one pays out. So lock in your token and watch every goal matter. Visit FanDuel.com to get started now. 21 plus, select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus, DC, Kentucky, Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MyReset. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat. Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 800-327-5050. Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY. New York. Call 1-877-770-7867. Louisiana.